ICE has admitted that many of the alleged gang members deported by Trump didn't actually have criminal records in the US. More than 200 migrants have been deported to one of the world's toughest prisons in El Salvador, despite a district judge instructing for the plane to be turned around.
So the first shipment of Tren de Agua gang members that were in our country illegally committing violent crimes have been shipped to an El Salvador super prison to do the rest of their lives. But a federal court judge tried to block this motion while the plane was in the air. This judge literally wanted them to turn the plane that was already in the air around and bring these people back to our country. When they landed in El Salvador, the president of El Salvador said 2 words: too late. And some people argue that this is unconstitutional, but does the Constitution apply to people who've broken into our country illegally?
What's next?
Another flight. Another flight every day. The teams are going to be out there every day. Every day, the men and women of ICE are going to be in the neighborhoods of this nation arresting criminal, illegal alien, public safety threats, and national security threats.
That was Tom Holman, the director of ICE, and he seems to be completely unshook by people's concerns. But how much is this costing the American people?
Approximately $6 million to El Salvador for the detention of these foreign terrorists. And I would point out that is pennies on the dollar in comparison to cost it would impose on the American taxpayer to house these terrorists in maximum security prisons here in the United States of America.
$6 million does seem like a big number, but when it comes to the cost of housing this many people for the rest of their lives...
Okay, so let me get this straight. The government deported illegal immigrants who had criminal histories to El Salvador, right? Just to find out that ICE came back and said, yeah, none of them had any criminal records. They just had an Air Jordan tattoo on them. So we deported them. And I find this story ironically hysterical. And not for those people, though. My heart bleeds for those people. They did nothing wrong. See, my problem is the guy who's in charge writing these hypocritical rules. He's out here telling us that he's going to deport immigrants who have violent histories or who have been, in and out of the system a lot and things like that. But yet you invite Conor McGregor to the White House to talk on St. Patrick's Day, the day before all this happens, when he literally just got out of court and was guilty for being a rapist. Not to mention the laundry list of other things he's been convicted of. I mean, assault, battery. He literally punched an old guy in the face at a bar. You can see the video because the guy didn't want to take a shot with him. He's a psychopath. But you would let him in the country and you invite him in the country. But these people that you're calling illegal immigrants, or as you call them, Spanish people, you deport them because they have an Air Jordan tattoo and it's maybe linked to something, but we're not going to do any investigation and stuff. We're just round them up and throw them away, right? That's the rule. That's what you're doing.